What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Rooted Podcast, created by Midnight Entertainment and executive produced by Hustle Vision Entertainment. I am one of your hosts, Anubis MN, here with my lovely panel of hosts, Tony the Don, which you know is the executive producer, as well as Ish Capiche.
Yep,
Say
I'm
what's
the
up,
part-time
everybody.
host.
Hello, everybody. It's your co-host, Ish Capiche. You can find me on Instagram at ishcapiche215.
So, we have a special guest in the building today. Well, on the Zoom chat today. I want to introduce the owner of CitoutbeauLLC. This
Hi,
is
everyone.
Ciani.
Oops.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ciani, and I am the owner of CitoutbeauLLC. We are based out of Philadelphia, so we are local.
Welcome.
You can find us on Instagram at Citoutbeau, which is CitoutBeauDeau.
So, who exactly is Ciani, and what exactly is CitoutbeauLLC?
So, Ciani and Ciitoutbeau are two completely different people, but they end up meshing together perfectly. So, Ciani, I am about to be 22 years old. I am Cancer, so I mean, I'm like very emotional, as people would say. I don't think I am, but people say that Cancers are emotional, right? So I'm like the biggest baby ever. And I'm like very shy, but CitoutbeauLLC, on the other hand, is a very exotic and luxurious brand. So we specialize in a lot of things that people, well, when I first started business 2 years ago, it wasn't a lot of people, especially in Philly, that were actually making what we make. So I didn't see a lot of people local that were doing body butters or like serums, Epsom soaks. I didn't really see that. And my approach is that I wanted everything to be natural because I've always had sensitive skin and like I can't use a lot. So I kept buying different products and like none of them will work. It actually would make my skin worse. So I was like, okay. I was like, I love smelling good. That's like the exotic aspect. So like being able to smell good and feel very feminine. But then the luxurious side is that everything was natural and that although it was natural, it still worked for whatever, issue it was targeting. So we're two different people, but we mesh together perfectly. CitoutbeauLLC has taught me to stop being so shy because you can't have a business and be shy.
Right.
But yes, that is who Ciani is, and that is who CitoutbeauLLC is.
Yeah, because then you have to hire somebody else to do everything.
Yeah, I feel like even though I've gotten out of my personal shyness, I still feel like I do want to hire people. I can't do everything, and as much as I'm the type of person that I personally like to try and do everything myself. But I also feel like, to a certain extent, after a while, you start to feel like you're drowning because it's like you catch up on one thing, but then another thing starts to suffer. So it's like, for me, marketing has always been like one of my biggest issues. I can formulate all my products. Like I didn't have no help with formulating. I honestly just was in the kitchen whipping it, trying to figure it out. Like, oh, okay, this might have molded. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to use a preservative, or what preservatives can I use that's still natural, that's not going to have alcohols or like whatever the case may be. But because I was focusing so much on everything else, my marketing aspect was like going downhill. So like people, my locals, or like a lot of my customers actually aren't even local, which is, I'm very blessed. But my marketing was suffering. Like I wouldn't post for like a week at a time. And then I would post and then I would like be busy with inventory. So I would be, because I have cosmetics and skincare. So like CitoutbeauLLC was two things in one. So my issue is that I have a hard time. So if I'm marketing my body butters, I fall off with marketing my cosmetics. So I'm still going to have to hire, but I mean, it is what it is.
It's a blessing because you're working and you're young, and that's the best thing because I'm so proud of you that you have your business.
Oh, thank
And
you.
for the cosmetics, it's not a lot of people in Philly that do that. So that's one thing that I'm interested in, because for you to have your idea of what you want to do with your cosmetics, especially trying to figure out what you want to do with your marketing. Is there any
Yes.
advice you would give someone that would try to be doing the cosmetics and the skincare with the marketing, especially someone that's new to the business?
I have a lot of I have a lot of advice on that, or like tips. So before I even get into that, I have this like a little backstory that's gonna lead me into my answer. So sorry. So I have a friend named Taya, and me and her, we've met years ago. Me and her ex-boyfriend, we used to go to school together. So for a while, we were just Instagram friends, like, oh girl, you look so cute, da, 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 right? And eventually we actually started like FaceTime and actually talking outside of Instagram because she has a business where she was selling lashes, and her lashes were very beautiful. She was one of the girls where in high school she was popular. She was the pretty girl. So like, when you're someone that a lot of people know of, it's easier to do certain things. So like on her turn, they already knew her for being a pretty good cheerleader. She was the one with the nice skin. She was just the it girl. So for her, when she started selling lashes, it was so easy for her because she already had the followers basically. When me on the other hand, I sold lashes, but I didn't really push them as much because like I said, it's hard to focus on multiple things. So like I was like drowning, like I'm focusing on my glosses, and I'm like my lashes are like just far in the back, where like I'm trying to focus on the lashes and the skincare, and then the gloss is just like in the back. So she actually came to me one day and she was like, see, I really want to start doing glosses. And she was like, the only thing I don't know what to do because, I sell lashes. And even though they're both cosmetics, they're a little different, and the marketing for them is different, which I don't think people notice. But the marketing for lashes and gloss is definitely two completely different things. So I told her, I was like, you already had the clientele for the lashes. I'm like, so this is what I would do. And then I suggested to her. So I don't know if y'all have ever seen the very, very tiny, I wish I had one to show y'all right now. But the very, very tiny like lip gloss samples that's like literally like this big. I told her, since people don't know you for the lip gloss, what I would do give a complimentary sample with everyone that purchases a pair of lashes. So one of my tips definitely would be, if you're trying to market lashes and lip gloss or like whatever, if it's two different things, I would definitely, if you can, give samples of very small, because you don't want people, you don't want to give people too much to where they don't want to purchase. You want to reel them in, like, oh, what is this? You want people to start asking you questions about it. Oh, well, is this yours, or was this, from a sponsor? Like, you want people to ask you questions. So one of the things that I would say is, don't just leap out like I did. And just start with two different things. You want to build up your clientele slowly but surely with one product, and it doesn't matter which option you go for first. If it's the lashes, if it's the lip gloss, if it's the lip balms, whatever it is, you just want to start with one product. You want to release that product. You want to have people, ask people for reviews, ask them what they like and dislike, because not only when they give you reviews, most of the time they're going to actually tag you in it, so that'll reel more people into like, wonder who are you. And then from there, they might purchase, or they might stick around for a little minute and see what else, other people are saying before they decide to purchase. But eventually they'll come around and purchase. So real people in one product at a time. My mistake, I ended up doing my lashes and my glosses at the same time. But what I actually didn't start e-commerce. I actually was local. So I used to go to cosmetology school. And that was when I really started my business, because I seen like, I'm literally right here. We all want the same thing. We all love hair or, makeup or skincare. So I'm like, listen, I need some extra money. And I'm always buying lip gloss. I'm always buying lashes. I'm like, let me start a business. So I was selling both of them there, but sorry.
Take your time.
When I ended up leaving Empire, because my grandfather passed away, I ended up dropping out. My clientele died, and now I have these two products. I had maybe like 30 pairs of lashes. I had a lot of lip gloss, and they sat for like probably 6 months. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, because I didn't know, like, it was a lot going on in family, but then business. I'm like, all of my clientele was in school. So I'm like, what am I about to do? I'm like, I'm just sitting on inventory, and I hate sitting on inventory. Anybody that, sells a product, you're going to hate sitting on inventory.
Right.
Because it's like, you have so much money that you looking at this product and you're like, damn, I can make $200 easy off of these 5 shirts or whatever. And you're like, damn, but it's just sitting here. And it's like, you be stressing, because it's like you sitting on money. And don't nobody want to, you want it to come and you want it to go. You don't want to have to just have it just sitting there. It's like, listen, I got my electric duo. I need to sell 2D shirts real quick. Like,
right.
So
okay,
that would be my advice.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
the
That was some
next
good advice.
the next question is from me.
Mhm.
First of all, congratulations for being a 22-year-old entrepreneur.
Yes,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yes,
Keep,
congratulations on
hope
that.
everything keeps on going well, and we already basically seen, verbally how the ups and downs can be.
Mm.
So the question I have for you is, can you like walk us through the time, I guess I don't know, maybe like a year ago, or how the time before you even had the business, like walk us through the time where you was having everything and like strategizing or brainstorming, or like kind of putting together the ideas, and like how was it from when you first was beginning to develop this business plan and the ideas and stuff until now, and what things have helped you lead up to it, and what downfalls that you had leading up to it.
Okay. So, whoo, Citaboo, Citaboo started way before it actually became a e-commerce store, or like a boutique. I actually call Citaboo a boutique or a skin teak. But it started way before like I decided to actually sell products. When I was around 14, 15, just like what led me up to my actual business. My skin used to break out very, very bad, and I used to have bad acne. So going into I was in homeschool at the time. So when I ended up transitioning to high school from 11th to 12th, I just felt a little like out of place. First of all, I was the tallest person in the whole school, outside of one other girl, and of course the guys. But like out of all the girls, I was one of the two tallest girls in the whole school. So that draws attention. And then I just felt like, oh my God, like my face, my acne, like I had all these dark marks, and I still struggle with it, but I just came to the point now where I'm just like, it is what it is. But back then, I was more so concerned about how people see me, and that affected my self-esteem. So I started getting into wearing makeup, and I will wear makeup not every day, but like certain days I will wake up super early and do my makeup to try and, mask those dark marks and, hyperpigmentation marks. So I ended up eventually freelance. I started freelancing doing makeup, and that was really what started Citaboo. So I always, as a kid, I always loved lip gloss. I didn't really care for lashes as much because I never knew how to put them on. But in terms of lip gloss, I used to always go to the hair store with my mom and right in the corner, and I would spend like $10 on just clear lip gloss. And I think they're called like the
Yep,
Broadway ones.
I
Everyone
do
know what
know
I'm
what
talking
you're
about,
talking
the
about.
good ones. But I used to buy like 10 of them at a time, and I'm like, okay, I have makeup clients now. I'm bringing in like 2 clients for prom, and it wasn't much. Like it wasn't like I had millions of clients, but like I definitely was able to make my little money here and there when I needed, extra money, or like whatever the case might have been. So I would market on Facebook, and this is at the time where I was in a house that I grew up in. This house was like, when I tell y'all, it was this right before we moved, right where I did my makeup. We had like a front porch before it led into like the living room, and like the ceiling. I can remember having a client, and her name is Sim Diva. Y'all might have actually, y'all probably know her because she's very influential in like the Christian network of Philly. But I had her, and she was messaging me randomly, like, hey, she was like, can you do my makeup? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, sure. But in my head, when she came, like the ceiling was like starting to fall apart. It was cold, like the ceiling was starting to fall apart. It was cold, and it was like a small space. But like when she got there, I just, I did my work, and like that was it. But I was just like so embarrassed about like that space right there. So I ended up moving, and at this point, I'm like, okay, I had the clients. I'm like, I do love lip gloss. Instead of spending so much money in Sephora and spending so much money in the hair store, or Ulta, wherever,
Right.
on lip glosses for my clients, I'm like, let me research. And this is when I transitioned to Empire. I'm like, let me research, figure out how I can make this myself, because I could save so much money if I can make the colors that my clients like myself, versus having to, go out and buy them. I researched it. At the time, it was only one girl on YouTube that was YouTube. I need some water. YouTube was one of those places in 2000, I would say 2018, where not too many people were focusing on making lip gloss and like eyeshadow palettes and things like that, body butters. None of this was like really active as much on there. So when I found her video, she showed exactly what she was using, and I ended up ordering a small quantity, a small batch from like all the websites that she had recommended. And I just started experimenting. So I literally remember I was at the table, me and my boyfriend, at the table with my mom, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm making lip gloss. I'm making lip gloss." And I was just mixing in like a little cup, came up with my colors. And then from there, I gave them out to a couple people because I started working at Walmart after I left Empire. I hope it ain't disconnect me. Somebody
There we
just
go.
called.
No,
I should probably go on D&D real quick. But
there we go.
okay, all right, cool. Sorry about that. Somebody had called. So they made me forget where I was at.
You
You
Okay.
started at Walmart.
Right. So I had started working at Walmart, and I had gave out a couple to some of my coworkers, like, "Hey, try it out, let me know what you think." And everybody's like, "Oh my God, I love them. I like the colors." Da, da, da. So I'm like, all right, now that's what transitioned me to start actually selling the product. I didn't know how to price it. I didn't really know how to market it. I just knew that I like lip gloss, and I felt like everybody else should like lip gloss. So I just went around and was like, "Hey, I recently started my business. I'm selling lip gloss. If you need me, let me know." And I believe I was charging $5 at the time for like a 8 milliliter tube of gloss. And word got around because people at Walmart talk, and I didn't know nobody but I still had people coming up to me like, "Hey, you sell lip gloss?" I'm like, "Yeah, how you know?" They're like, "Oh, such and such is talking about it." It's like, "Do you have any on hand?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I got a couple," and that's what started the business. People, word of mouth got around. I had no marketing plan. I had no budget plan. I had nothing. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do, and if I'm gonna fuck up, I'm gonna fuck up, and I'm gonna just figure it out, and that's what I did.
That's
Same
usually
thing.
how it starts.
Yeah.
So
You
sounds
Yeah,
like
learn through
sometimes
experience.
you
That's
have
it.
to step
Yeah.
out on a limb and you
Mhm.
have to try something new, and
Yes.
it works out for the best in most cases.
Ooh, yeah. I wish that I knew to budget and to if I knew to have a budget and like a finance plan, like a finance sheet or something, because I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna ask about finances later, but when yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to
I
ask. Go ahead.
no, I cry every time I think about how much I spent last year. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that was what my question is going to be. So, how has the pandemic affected your business?
So okay. I'm gonna jump a little before the pandemic.
Mhm.
So I originally, when I'm at Walmart, and this is after like everybody kept asking about my product, I decided that I wanted to make a website. So I launched on Black Friday 2019. I remember this,
Oh wow.
like that was when I opened my website so I didn't like, how most people friends and stuff, like a big issue in business is like, oh, your friends or family don't purchase from you. On Black Friday, I already, because I feel like what I do for other people, they should do for me, but people are not going to be like that, and I had to stop expecting that. So I went onto my Facebook and my Instagram, and I posted, oh, my website launching in 3 days, blah, 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 blah. So like to build a little bit of anticipation. I ended up opening my website Black Friday, and what I was surprised because from that November until February, right before the pandemic, I ended up doing, I think, 2,000 in that short amount of time. And reminder, I didn't have no marketing plan. I didn't have nobody pushing the product. It was literally just me, posting on my Facebook to people that didn't know me, because my Facebook is primarily like makeup artists, business owners from all over the US. So like, I was just like, I'm gonna just post on here, and that was it. And I was able to make about $2,000 from that Black Friday to that February. Then I shut my website down, and this is right when Corona came about. And I ended up switching from GoDaddy to Shopify because I wanted something like a platform that showed me more analytics, because that was one of the things that I didn't really know, like where are they coming from outside of the United States. Yeah, the United States, where at. I didn't know what they were shopping on, if it was an iPad, if it was a tablet. I didn't know anything. So I kept asking around. Everybody's like, "Oh, Shopify is great. Shopify is great." But I look at the price of Shopify. I'm like, this is like $400. I'm like, do I really want to invest this money? So one of my first investments was actually the website, which literally was 400, $390 something, $400. So from there, I ended up relaunching in May the 9th. It was my mom's birthday. Yep, May 9th. And from then until December, not counting my previous website, which was GoDaddy, from May till December 31st, I ended up bringing in 5,600 and some change. In a pandemic. And reminder, most of these people I do not know. I ended up having 182 orders at the end of on the last day, December 31st. And I was bummed out. I was a little sad because originally I spent 10,000 including credit cards. Like I had a maxed out credit card of 4,000, which went into my business. Like majority of that was like all website. It was inventory and everything business related. I had put on that one credit card, so I literally maxed that out $4,000 on top of still putting in money to buy more inventory like oils and body butter bases and scents and essential oils, which are very goddamn expensive. So by the time I bought all this stuff and I like looked at how much I made last year and I looked at how much I spent last year, and I didn't honestly, I don't even think I added up 100% of what I spent on my business last year, because I a lot of receipts, like I didn't know at first to save the receipts. So like I lost a lot of receipts, but from what I did have and what I could count up, it was 10,000 in inventory. So like I'm like, okay, 182 orders from people, majority I didn't know. Some of them were family and friends, but most of them were not. So I was saying 150 were people I didn't know. And I'm like, I don't know where they came from. I'm just like posting like with little hashtags here and there on Facebook and Instagram. And like I got shadow banned a couple times on Instagram. So like nobody was seeing my stuff. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I was happy because I was exposed to people that didn't know me, that just trusted my post on Facebook or wherever. And they just like, oh, I'm gonna just shop for her. Like, I don't know what made them do it. I'm not gonna question it. But these people supported and gave me their money, and I could have been scamming, because you know nowadays, don't look, most people be out here scamming. I could have been scamming, but they just believed and trusted in me enough to invest their money. And most of these people are like long-term customers at this point. So I have people that like I've kind of grown like not a friendship but like a bond with. And yeah, I'm very blessed, but I've spent a lot of money and didn't make all of it back. so yeah, it's been, the pandemic has brought me lots of people I were not expecting. I wasn't going to expect to sell as much as I did last year. So I'm very grateful. It was a pandemic and it was tough, and like shipping. One of my clients. Well, I always call them clients, but one of my customers, my loyal customers, she ended up ordering from me. She didn't get her order for 3 months. Oh, I resent because when stuff like this happens, it's an inconvenience, but it's like I feel like if I have the inventory, I'm always going to try and reship it, because I just want them to know like I'll look out for you the best way that I can. Once it's out of my hands, I don't have no control over it. But like I resent the package and everything. She got both of them a day apart 3 months later. Wow. I said, wow. So yeah, the shipping was a hassle. Definitely still is a hassle. But other than that, like I've been very blessed last year.
Wow, that's something.
But stuff like that is why people actually appreciate a company and will go back with the loyalty, because you know that goes a long way with a lot of people, especially me.
Yes, I've lost money, like when people, you know, I don't mind sending it out, but in another instance, I'm like, damn, I'm losing money. I'm like, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because this is gonna take me from one place to another. So even though I had to waste, well, not technically waste, but I lost that $50 having to resend this body butter, I'm gonna go ahead and resend it, because I know from here moving forward, they'll come back, because they know whatever's going on, I'll figure it out, or I'll try to help as best that I can. But like, you definitely lose money. Like, I don't think people realize that. And it depends on what you're selling as well, because certain things you probably only lose a couple dollars. But when it comes to like body butters, those they take they take time to make, and essential oils cost money. So if it's one, like she ended up ordering my ultimate complexion, which is all essential oils. It's 7 essential oils in this one butter. On top of the oil, the butter bases. So I literally lost out like a good $30 just resending it to her. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay, because she shop with me all the time, so I'm not even worried about it. But definitely that adds up. So imagine if all of my customers all had the same problem, and I'm sending out 10 butters I would have lost so much money.
Right.
That's the thing. What people don't understand is that, well, one, when it comes to business, you're gonna in the beginning you'll lose more money than you
Ooh,
make,
yes,
especially if a pandemic like this hit. But what's
yes,
important is building that relationship with your clients, with your
yes,
customers, because that relationship, that bond that you have with them, they'll frequent you more often. And in the case
yes,
of like something like that, again, they have faith in you.
yes, yes, definitely. I've had a lot of people that orders were delayed like a week, 2 weeks. And I'm grateful because I've never had that client or customer, whatever, we want to call them, that
Mm,
dispute. Disputing with small businesses, I see so many people like, because I have a lot of business owners on my Facebook, and a lot of them complained that, oh my God, I got a dispute for 300, 400, 25, however, whatever the amount was. I am blessed that I've never had to deal with that, because I'm just like, that's so grimy. But I mean, listen, people actually dispute stuff. And
yeah.
although this stuff took 3 months for her to get it, or although, it took 2 weeks for her to get it, they've been very understanding with me, and they just waited it out with me. And I'm like, listen, I'm on the phone with the postal service, like, yo, where's this package? And I'm like, but I want you to call too. I'm like, so we both call, and eventually it pops up. And I've just been grateful because they trusted in me, enough to know that I wasn't lying about the situation. And I followed up with them. I'm like, if you get it, let me know. If you don't get it by next week, I'll resend it, or, and for the most part, everybody do get their stuff beforehand, but some people didn't. So I resent it. But yeah, people have been disputing with Corona going on. Like it's been crazy. And they got the product, and like people had messages of
Mm.
the person saying, yes, I love this, da, 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 and they still would go and dispute. And I'm just like, that's crazy, because you got the product. It's no, like, you got what you ordered. There's nothing wrong with it. Why are you out disputing? But with COVID, that has been at an all-time high for small
Mm.
businesses. And I'm just like happy I didn't have to go through that. I've yet to see a dispute, and I hope I never do. But I mean, the bigger you get, the more problems you have. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
expecting that eventually it's going to come, but I'm just happy it wasn't right now.
Well, we're wishing you continued success, like
Oh,
especially after
thank
all you
you.
did for like our business, sharing and everything, and participating in like the giveaways and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like, deeply appreciated, deeply
Yes, we
appreciated.
do appreciate you, and thank you for coming on the
Listen.
podcast with us today.
No problem. If I can help in any way, I will. Especially for people like myself, it's already hard for small businesses, especially Black owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like already super hard for us. So if I have information that I can share, or if I could just share a post, it doesn't take anything away from me. It takes me 2 seconds to do it. I'll do it. That's just how I am, because I want everybody to succeed. I don't want anyone to feel like they're in a tough spot and don't know how to get out or maneuver. And plus, my customers or my followers aren't yours. So, like, we all have something that we can give to each other, even if it's only one person. That's
Mm-hmm.
still somebody else that didn't know of you beforehand. So, whenever I can share, I
Exactly.
share.
I actually have one more question for you.
Sure.
And I know this question is going to be a very one that you can probably touch deeply to home with, because of the fact that you said you had the skin problems yourself in the past, and you
Right.
stood out from being kind of tall. So the question I have is, being a Black woman and being as though that a lot of Black women deal with having the lack of self-love and the lack of thinking they're beautiful without any kind of extra extremities. How do
Right.
you think that, how do you feel your company is helping out with that lack of black, the lack of self-love in the Black community? The fact that they can see a young Black entrepreneur like you creating the products that can help with that, but also still having that self-love in themselves instilled.
Instill confidence in them.
Yeah.
So, I, for the longest, I honestly did not want to be the face of my brand. Because we all have those days where we wake up and we feel like, oh, I'm so beautiful, I'm so handsome. And then you had them days where it's like you wake up and you might be like, dang, I gained 2 pounds, oh, I'm getting fat, or whatever the case may be. I'm kind of in a place now where I'm like learning self-acceptance. And regardless of how other people see me, I want them to know that, like, you are beautiful regardless of what you're going through. So now that I'm more so okay with being the face of my brand, like, if you look on my Instagram, most of the recent pictures or me actually wearing my glosses. And I honestly, in the beginning, did not want to be the face of my brand because I didn't want people to associate me personally with my brand.
Right.
And that happens a lot because it's like, I mean, thank God I wasn't a bad child, but they people like, oh yeah, I fought her in fifth grade. She did all this. Oh, she probably still that way. So now it's like that leads into my business. But a lot of people had that problem. So I really wanted to keep things separate for a long time. But I also realized that no one's going to represent how I can represent my brand. So like now that I'm more okay with like posting and going live and things like that, I honestly just tell people like, you're not going to wake up every day and you're not going to feel like you're beautiful every single day, but just know that there's somebody that's dealing with something worse than you. So like you said, you gained 5 pounds, and somebody that gained 35, like, you know, and you start to appreciate things when you start to realize that, it could be worse. Like I tell people all the time, it could be worse. Like, yeah, your face is breaking out, it could be worse. You know,
Right.
I have clients, or I call them clients, but I have customers that have messaged me like personal like pictures, like, hey, what can help with my face? My face is breaking out. I'm like, well, first things first, I'm like, your skin's not going to change overnight. So let's put that out there. People think that skincare is something that you just wake up the next day after using the product and it's all going to go away. It's going to get worse before it gets better, no matter what you use, if it's natural or if it's a steroid. It's going to get better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So like your face is going to start breaking out more once you start changing your products before it clears up, because at the end of the day, all of that that's underneath, all of that pus or whatever you want to call it, that's underneath, all that bacteria, it has to still come out. Right. So people, you know, they might start using different products thinking that like it's going to automatically go away, and then their face, it starts, you know, they start getting more acne bumps, and then they're like, oh my God, it's getting worse. It's supposed to. And that's like one of the myths that's like in the community, that you're just going to buy this product and it's going to work, no matter if it's from me or if it's from Sephora. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So I tell people that first and foremost, but I also tell them like, your skin looks fine to me. Like, it's not as bad as you think that it is. I just compliment people no matter what's going on, because I wish that sometimes people would do that for me. And so I go live now, and I just honestly, like, I'm natural. And that's one of the things that I've always, for years, I've always been natural with my hair. I stopped perming my hair a long time ago. I went through different phases of being natural. So like my business somewhat reflects me. I rather just take the extra time, and like, although it's being natural is like, it's a headache and it's a lot and it's a lot of work. I just rather take that extra time to do it the right way than do it the wrong way. And I tell people that all the time. I went to a dermatologist for my skin. Nothing worked. They put me on steroids. Nothing worked. And I'm just like, at this point, if I can do it myself, I will. So like, I've been using my own products and they definitely help. I mean, it's not, if your diet is bad, your skin still want to break out. So like, my diet isn't the best. So I still have my days where I wake up to a pimple or two, but it's not bad how it used to be with me using all of these foreign products, all of these, you know, steroids and stuff on my face. So I just go about it with a natural approach. Naturally, I am the person, the nurturer into anybody and everybody, even like people that I don't know. When I used to work at Walmart, I used to have customers just randomly in my line. I'm like, hey, how are you today? And they just start venting, like, because my dad and and I'm just like, oh wow, like I just have that aura that just comforts people enough for them to like let me into their personal lives without even actually knowing me. So being that I felt like I had this gift, I felt like I could give to people what they might be missing, even if it's only just one interaction. I just want people to walk away feeling better about whatever it is that's going on. So I feel like that definitely, just me having this gift has definitely helped me out in my business and helped me more with like the purpose of my business. And I just want to help people. I don't care about the money. Like it's great to have it, but I've had weeks of having no sales, and like, you know, I still just am trying to figure it out, you know, but I still help my customers the best that I can. I even sometimes do like around the holidays, I do like free gift baskets, because like I said, people invest in money and like they trusted me enough to, you know, even support me, even if it was $5. Like I did a raffle around Christmas time, and like if you left a review, I would put a ticket in, and it was free. You had to pay for nothing. Just get, like, it was a whole basket of body scrub, body butter, Epsom soap, lip gloss, and that's just it off. So like I just try and do little things to give back, and that's about it. I just use my purpose the best way that I can, to my ability to help others.
Yep,
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That really is amazing.
Ciani, we want to thank you again. Yeah, I believe it. Like be having their problems sometimes ourselves and everything, but that's the beautiful thing about it. All their hard work pays off.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait till the day I see $1 million. When I tell you all of my customers gonna get, they just gonna get random free gift boxes. Like,
okay, like you get a box.
You made $1 million.
Everyone hear that? Everybody that's going to be listening, you hear that? Well, she hits $1 million.
Everybody gonna get them a free gift box. It's gonna be some random product. It might be a scrub, it might be a butter, it might be a couple glosses, but I'm telling you, I'm just going to randomly start sending everybody just gifts. They're gonna be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I didn't order nothing." I'm like, "Girl, because we made $1 million, so I had to give back." Like,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Ciani, we want to thank you again for joining or taking the time out and joining us.
No
and
problem.
everything that you've done for us from the get-go.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Before we end it, does anyone else have another question?
You don't gotta be shy now.
I'm trying to think. Oh, so I did have one more question. So I know that, like, hold on, I had it.
Take your time.
Give me 1 second.
Look, if you gotta write it down, go ahead.
I definitely look. So yeah, there was the one question that I did want to. Oh, am I there? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're here.
So I was going to ask you, is there anything in your in the production of your products that stands you out from your competitors when it comes to like your body butters and your lip glosses?
That's a tough question. Honestly, I feel like with COVID, a lot of people have and I mean, I want to say this as humble as possible. I don't want to, talk down on nobody, but a lot of people post COVID, have started businesses because funds are tight, and I get it, I understand. Mm-hmm. But we have so many, like, the market is somewhat, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth. The market is somewhat oversaturated right now with people that are like making butters and making glosses like that. I swear, making lip gloss is one of the first things that blew up once COVID happened. Because like it's the quickest way to, I guess not the quickest way, but to most people, it's from YouTube perspective, it's the quickest way to make money, to make a $1,000 in a week. So so many people have started doing it that I feel like it's been a little harder to actually push my business. And I'm gonna do what I gotta do by all means necessary, but I feel like it's so much harder now that it's like oversaturated to actually push the product because so many people are doing it. So it's like, it's hard. I feel like it's very hard to stand out. Thank God that I already have like my booze crew that are like already a part of like the process. They've been there from like the beginning or like wherever they came along. So like they kind of help me still push the business out, but it's definitely oversaturated. So like I feel like it's hard to say that I had something that stands out when like everybody is trying to do the same thing. And I mean, granted, the formulas are going to be different, but when you're shopping e-commerce, when you're shopping online, you don't know if it's the same, if it's different. You just know that everybody's making the same type of butters now, or they're making lip gloss now. So you're going to be like, oh, I have so many options. And it's like, you can market, it's only so many ways you can market gloss. I mean, of course I can show swatches of it, and I can talk about how it smells, but it's like everybody's swatching and talking about how it smells. So it's like you have so many options. It's hard. Like I definitely like have been struggling a little bit because I'm just like, so many people doing this now. Like, do I still want to do this? Because I just feel like it's so much harder for me to reach my target audience, because like I feel like 2 years from now, all of these people that started businesses during COVID, like 2 years from now, they going to be out the way. They're going to fade away because a lot of people don't have a passion behind what they're doing. They're just doing it because they see everybody else doing it, or because they see so many people saying they're making money from it. So like now, I'm gonna start doing it. But I feel like the next couple of years go by, it'll be a little easier because those people that's doing it just for the money are going to slide to less, and then all of the people that have been consistent with the process before and after and during, those are going to be the people that's going to stand out more. So.
Yeah, but because you're passionate about it, I know that your company is going to be one of those that's going to thrive and succeed even past,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's tough. I be sitting here trying to figure it out, and I'm always like writing stuff and like learning new stuff. I've been learning about business credit lately. So I'm trying to get there to where as though I don't have to fund so much out of because I mean my business brings its own revenue. So whatever I need, if the revenue is there, I'll use those funds to buy it. But when it's like when I have those dry weeks and I still gotta order certain stuff, I'm still coming out my own personal pocket. So it's like I don't want to dig myself so much into a hole anymore, because that card, that maxed out card that I have, I'm still paying on it, like literally. Still paying on it, still got lots to pay on it. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to figure out avenues to where I don't no longer have to do that, to where my business can fund itself, even if it's through business credit. I can use the business to pay for the business.
Right.
But
that's the goal. Just keep
yes.
at it. Keep at it.
It's
I know
all
it
a
may
learning
seem hard, but
process.
keep at it.
Yeah, it's all a learning
Yes.
process. I'm happy that you were able to come on here and be so like raw with us and actually
Yes.
like tell us, the ups and downs of, being a new business owner, because everybody needs to hear that, especially
Oh my
people who
God.
are looking on and they're trying to do a business for themselves.
So much. Even have y'all heard about I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's called the NAICS code. NAICS, and it's a SIS code. I don't know if y'all, I learned about this the other day for business, like in terms of if you want funding. It's a actual like code that is supposed to go on like your paperwork in terms of like taking out loans or business credit cards, things like that. And it's essential. I never knew this in my 2+ years of having a business. I've never known that I needed this. So a lot of people that have gotten denied for like the small business loan, that was why. So it just to throw this out there, if y'all haven't heard of it, definitely look into it. It's very annoying because they like kind of put you in subcategories that have a certain number, and then you have to find another category that's like more specific to what you do. And like for me, I can't find a category for my sub code, so I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do right in terms of that. But
I wasn't aware of that either.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link once we get off of here. They had a business live the other day, and I think that if I didn't watch that, I wouldn't have known about it. But like, it's so much that goes into it, like taxes. I did not know that an LLC was still filed as a sole proprietor. I'm like, for all that, I might as well have just kept sole proprietor. What was the point in me filing with the state for my LLC? It's like so much, like so much.
Actually have I got some information I could send you too that I watched recently on YouTube.
Okay.
A few different people. One is how to do taxes, what to put aside for taxes and what to pay yourself in I believe it's an LLC. And then the other one, what is it about? I think the other one has to do with the actual taxes of it, when you have to pay taxes. And that's what I learned also, that when you have a single member LLC, that they tax you as a sole proprietor company. And then if you only get taxed, I believe, differently if you have more members in your LLC.
Yeah, see, and I'm honestly, I file my own taxes every year, but I think I'm gonna pay somebody because I don't want to. I've heard plenty of horror stories about people filing their own taxes and they owe the IRS 10,000 because like they messed up somewhere along the line. And the IRS, they charge you up when they have errors. So I'm like, I don't got money like that. I'm like, I want to do it myself because I do have I did keep most of my receipts, but in terms of deductions, I don't know anything about that. So I'm just like, I don't want to put the wrong deduction, and like now I got to pay the IRS back. So I'm like very hesitant, and plus I don't know how much. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to pay for all these dumb orders I had. Like I'm like I made under 10,000, but like I feel like they still gonna tax me up. So I'm just like, I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah.
This part of owning a business, definitely not. But yeah, I'm gonna start looking for a bookkeeper, a certified tax person. So if you know someone that's Black owned, please send them my way, because I can't keep stressing myself out. I got a couple gray hairs right here just thinking about taxes. So
it is a scary time. Like, you can be happily going through the business throughout the year, but when it comes to taxes, just turn white from it. Just turn pale from it. Just It's
I'm
scary.
like so scared. I'm not gonna hold you. People talk about all the like glorious things they have in the business. They don't talk about when they file taxes, because I'm just sitting here like, how much y'all think y'all, if there's anything over 800, I'm gonna just have to jump out the window, because baby.
Oh, if the information is out there, we're definitely going to find it and share it.
Oh yes, well, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to send you the information that I have as well. I'll actually send y'all, because they broadcasted the live on YouTube, so I'll send it to you
Okay.
that we all can hear more about like the business aspect. Because when I tell you, I learned so much that I didn't know, or like I thought I knew but wasn't sure about. I was able to learn so much stuff, so I feel like that'll definitely help you out as well. I mean, you might know some of the information, you might not, but listen, I would want to share with you, that way we all, not getting in trouble by the IRS and
Right.
all of them other things that, them other people that's out there looking.
Right.
I
Pass
have
that
one more
information.
question. So my last question.
Okay.
For any young Black entrepreneur, be it male or female, what advice do you have when it comes to creating their own business, if they're looking to go into business for themselves and not have to worry about working for someone else, or set up the grounds for their own generational wealth, so they can hand their business down to their children? What advice would you have for those young Black entrepreneurs?
I would say first, I know a lot of people personally, they be like, quit. They were like, you only don't know 9 to 5, just go ahead and start your business.
Right.
Don't do that.
Mhm.
I still work in the hospital with the COVID that I don't want to work with. But I mean, my business is not in a place yet where I can just quit. You want to make sure that you have a 9 to 5, and when you know when it's time to quit your 9 to 5, you'll know, because you'll be making 3 times your salary with your business
Mm.
versus your 9 to 5. When you're making 3 times the amount of your 9 to 5 with your business, that's a good sign to quit, because you're 9 to 5. Because at this point, you still have 2/3 of income going to the business, 1/3 going to yourself, because you still do have to. You're supposed to pay yourself. I don't even pay myself. That's a whole other conversation. But you are supposed to pay yourself when you have a business. So when you see 2/3 of your income, that's when you know to quit. Don't do it before then, because you still have to buy inventory, you still have to buy
Mhm.
supplies, you still have to pay for marketing, you still have to pay for a website domain, website host, email, like an email subscribers. If you want a business telephone number, you gotta pay for that.
Mhm.
You gotta file your paperwork if you
Your
want, go
taxes.
straight, right? Taxes, a lot of stuff you have to pay for that people don't talk about. So don't quit your 9 to 5. And another piece of advice I would give: definitely do something that you're passionate in, not because everybody else is doing it, because when it gets rough and when you don't have sales, what are you gonna do? If it's when I've had plenty of months where I've barely had any sales, and for me, I'm like, damn, I ain't getting no sales in this whole week. But in another
Mhm.
aspect, I'm like, I'm passionate, and I'm going to continue to work towards getting those missed sales, or like whatever that I have to do. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to work towards it. When you don't have a passion, or when you're only doing something because somebody else told you to do it, you're not going to be passionate about it to keep going when it gets tough. It's not going to be easy. A lot of businesses fail within the first 2 years
Mhm.
of, or is it the first year? I
It seems
think it's
like the
the first.
first 2 years. They usually say
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
first two
a lot
years.
of businesses fail within the first 2 years, so it's like it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. Please don't let nobody just please don't think that it's going to be easy and it's just going to be rocket science and like you're just going to wake up to $1 million, because I haven't woke up to it yet, and it's almost 2 years for me. So just go into it with realistic expectations.
Mhm.
Um, and know that better days are coming. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. You're going to waste a lot of money. You're going to
Mhm.
lose a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, it's not going to be hundreds. If you are legitly invested in your business, you're going to
Mhm.
be wasting thousands. I've wasted thousands. I wish I didn't, but it's a learning experience. You learn certain
Yes, it
things as
is.
you go. So just know that business comes with a lot of ups and downs, trials and errors. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have days where you're going to cry, because I've had them, and I have days where I just want to throw all my inventory out and I just want to keep it pushing. But I don't do it. I contemplate, but I don't do it. So just know that like it's so much going into a business. People don't talk about the depression that you go through having a
Yes.
business, and it's up and down. It's not
Oh
like
yeah.
it's not like it could be, everything could be going good one week and then the next week you depressed because you're like, oh my God, like I done bought XYZ, I got this bill coming up or whatever the case may be. So like you just have to be strong enough to push through. Only the strong survives in business. And that's my, I would say that's my greatest two pieces of advice. Just don't quit your 9 to 5 and make sure that you're passionate, because you're going to have a lot of things come up and you want to be sure that, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. Not, okay, I'm over it, I'm done, I'm gonna just log out, like, you know.
And hustle.
Yes. Oh my God. If anybody would have told me that, like, I would have literally ended up being the face of my brand and okay. So the outcome of your business is determinant on the outcome of you as a person and your drive to get things done.
Speak, sister, speak.
If you working a 9 to 5 is not like, I mean, working. All right, hold on, wait. Let me reverse. Working your own being self-employed, owning a business is not like working a 9 to 5. With a 9 to 5, you go in, you clock in, you know how much you're making, you know what your check gonna be after taxes every 2 weeks. When you have a business, it's not like that. You don't have no set time to clock in. So you have to be very, very, very driven to be like, okay, especially if you don't have, like, if you quit your job, it's a whole different ballgame, because now you don't have nobody telling you when you gotta wake up. You don't have anybody telling you, this is how much you're gonna make today. You don't have anybody telling you, oh, this is how much taxes we're gonna take out of your check. You don't have nobody telling you anything. So you have full control over your situation. But the thing about it, you don't want to be lazy. You don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon every day, especially if you don't work a 9 to 5 and like your finances is based solely on your business. You want to still wake up early, or I mean, listen, I can't talk because I don't always wake up early, but I make sure that, like, I wake up in enough time to get most of my things done throughout the day. But you definitely have to really be driven, and you gotta put your foot down. Like, you can't be lazy. You have to literally still get up early, and the early bird catches the worm. So you just gotta set those boundaries, although you might or might not have that 9 to 5, and just know that, like, whatever you put in is what you get out. So if you only put in 10% and you're only going to get 10%. If you put in 100%, you might get 95. You might not get the whole 100, or you might get 80 right starting off. But like, eventually, if you stay consistent and if you stay driven to your overall goal, you'll be fine. And also, write down goals. When you have a business, write down goals. My little board that's like right here, it has my map on it, and I'm gonna take it down. I'll just do it over. But this is my map. So I have to update it. But from the last time I seen this map, I highlight all of the places that I ship to. So I don't know if y'all can kind of see it. It's real light, like the highlight turned like faded or something. But
no, I can see it. I
touched a lot of the
thing
East Coast. Yeah, I touched a lot of the East Coast. I also touched a lot of the South, and then I touched some of the West Coast, which I was surprised about. So I touched Cali. I said, Cali? I was like, what? But this is like very good to have, especially if you sell products, to have like a map where you can highlight every place that like you order to. Eventually, I probably feel like I have like 5 states that I actually have, because I haven't highlighted on this in a while, but I have a lot of states that I do have to go through and add on here that isn't already on here. But it's just good because you get to see, like, oh wow, like, you know, I'm making it somewhere. We all in Philly. So for me to be touching somebody's Florida and somebody's Utah, Arizona, freaking Washington State, I'm like, what? Ohio. I'm like, I've never stepped foot on any of these grounds, but it's just good to see that I've spread it throughout from Philadelphia. Like, at this point, I'm not local, okay? But just to see that, like, you know, I was able to spread throughout different states. So that's something good to have. Definitely write down goals. I even have money goals up here. Like, if I make X amount, I can sell this amount of lip glosses a week, and I can make this amount, and like just little stuff. I have to update a lot of stuff. I also have notes from like customers and friends that I've made in business. Like, I have one good friend. She also made lip gloss. Well, she doesn't make it anymore, but it was a time where, you know, I ran out of roses, and she actually went in her backyard. She's from South Carolina. She went in her backyard, picked me out roses, washed them
Shout
for
out
me,
to
cleaned
South
them,
Carolina.
sent them.
Born and raised.
Yes. And she didn't even tell me. It was just like the kindness of her heart. I just happened to go to the mail, and I'm like, girl, what you sent me? She's like, open it up, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, that was so like, and I've met her on Instagram, but like me and her is like this. So definitely business has some business friends too. They're awesome. They're awesome too. But yeah.
Thank you. That's something that I know a lot of people will take heed in. That's something that a lot of practices that people will begin to do. And one thing I never thought about doing is the map, and I actually start practicing that, make that a lifestyle for the business, a requirement for it.
Okay.
Again, C, like, thank you for coming on.
No
we'll have to have you
Yeah,
on here again to see where you are.
Just let me know.
You know, a little bit further down the line, and then when you hit $1 million,
okay.
see how it is then. Keep that inspiration up. I see you have the inspiration back there. Keep that inspiration up. Keep on connecting people. Keep on being authentic, because that's how you will succeed.
I used to be afraid to be authentic because I felt like nowadays people have like the certain, everyone has a certain persona of like who they want to be rather than who they actually are. So I used to be afraid to be myself in my business. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I used to feel like just me being naturally who I am, people weren't gonna gravitate towards it. But I mean, the more I've started to notice like people actually appreciate it a lot more, that I'm authentic and not acting to be a certain person or acting to be a certain way. So it's tough though. You have people that try you, that challenge you, but just be yourself. Just be yourself. It's good things that come from it. Definitely, it's tough, but whoever is meant for me is going to come to me. So that's just how you gotta look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, everyone that'll be watching and listening. This is Ciani from CitoutbeauLLC. We're gonna put her link somewhere down here so you can follow her on what's your Facebook also?
Okay. I'll send it to you if you don't have it. But it's the same thing as my Instagram.
We'll post the Facebook and the Instagram.
I'll post both of them on here on the sides of the screen so that people can see them and follow them.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, during the editing process. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
No problem. I am very excited to actually, be offered an invite to come on. This is actually my very, very first time being on a podcast or like doing anything in terms of like any interviews in terms of business. So like I'm very excited, and I was a little nervous coming on. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna ask me, but I'm actually glad that I came on, and I actually would love to maybe even start getting into doing like interviews or podcasts more, even if it's not just like for my actual business. If y'all ever need like a co-host, or like if y'all want to do like some story times or something, just let me know. I'll gladly jump in if I'm off from work. Just let me know.
We're always looking for that. We're always looking for that. So, all right, everyone. This is the Deep Rooted Podcast, created by Midnight Entertainment, executive produced by Hustle Vision Entertainment. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you again with another one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Till next time.